Welcome back, JD Parker students, to another day of virtual learning. Today is Tuesday, May 19th, and it is our 36th day of virtual school. Today, we are going to review the work we did yesterday, and then we're going to jump into the concept of order of operations. We have touched in class on this concept here, but we're going to be going in a little bit deeper, and you have a Khan Academy video and activity that you're also going to be doing. The image you see here is called Niagara Falls. It's supposed to be one of the world's most glorious things to see. So I have not seen it, and hopefully you might get to see it one day. So yesterday we talked about adding and subtracting decimals, and you had 2 worksheet pages to do, but you only had 7 problems on each, which gave you 14 problems because you were only supposed to do even. Those of you who listened to the video, good job. Those of you who didn't, well, you got more work and you got to practice more problems. So I'm going to quickly go over these so that we can jump into our order of operations. The most important thing to remember is to line up the decimal points, and they did that for you here. Now all you have to do is start with the smallest place value and regroup as needed. All right, so I'm going to quickly go through these and regroup as needed. So 6 plus 3, 2 plus 4, 6 plus 6 is 12, 6 plus 7 is 13, 3, and a dollar sign. Okay, here are the answers to the addition. So pause it so you can review your answers. And then the last problem down here says Lena bought new inline skates for $49.99, pretty close to 50. The sales tax was $4.13. How much did Lena spend in all? Another word, it tells you adding for her inline skates. Well, if she wants to buy this, you have to pay sales tax, so she would have to pay this much altogether. So you have $49.99 or 50, and then you add $4.13. Now I say or 50 because you could give 1 penny over here and just know it's going to be $54.12. Or you can just add it together. So it's going to be a 12, regroup, 9, 10, 11, regroup, 10 plus 4, 14, regroup, $54.12. And on the next page, we have 2 answers here, but I wanted to go over this answer right here with you because you have 0 in this place value, the hundredths, and you need to take away 5, which you cannot do. So you have to go next door, which is also a 0. You can't take anything away from 0. But you keep going till you hit this tens place over here. This is 6 tens. And you're going to turn it into 5 tens. And you're going to take 1 10 back to this ones place, which makes that become a 10. Now you're also going to take 1 away from this, which is 10, basically. It's going to become a 9, and you're going to give 1 to this, which becomes a 10, which is 1 whole. You took 1 whole away from this, and you gave it to this place value. Now you have 10 tenths, which is 1 whole. Now you're going to take away 1 of the tenths, and you're going to turn that into 9 and take 1 back. You keep taking it back until you get all the way. That way they all have now a greater number on the top to subtract with. And then when you subtract, you will get that. And here are your answers for the difference. And then the last problem was Bert earned $78.70 last week. This week he earned $93. How much more did he earn this week than last week? How much more than tells you you're subtracting. So you have $93. You put the larger number on top when you're subtracting, and you're going to take away $78.70. And you make sure those are nicely lined up, and then you can just subtract. There's more on the floor. You go next door. And there you go, $14.30. And you can pause this and check your answers if you wish. So today we're going to talk about order of operations. And order of operations, what that means is the order you're going to do the math procedure. Now, let me make that larger. There is a trick that we've talked about before, and it's please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. An order of operations is basically telling you the most important thing to do or the first step to do to the last step. Please means parentheses. Exponents is that tiny little number. It's raised to the power. So you might have a big number here, and then that's how many times you're going to times that number. We have only done this when we've talked about factorization and the factor tree. So the very first thing that's most important is parentheses. The second thing is exponents. The third thing, well, you have a tie between multiplication and division. So you're going to do multiplication and division at the same time, whichever comes first. Is divisions first in the problem? You do that first. If multiplication's first, then you do that one. But after you've already done all the parentheses, and you will not be doing exponents in this grade or fifth grade, I don't believe, maybe towards the end. So parentheses is what you have to worry about first, then multiplication, division, and the last important thing would be adding and subtracting. And again, adding and subtracting are basically the same thing, except one is opposites of the other. Same thing with multiplication and division. They're the same, except one is is going up, skip counting addition, and one is skip counting subtraction. So they are the same thing, just opposites. That's why they go together with the order of importance. So order of operations is basically the order that you're going to do something in. And here's an example down here. Order of operations. The very first thing is please, excuse, please, in parentheses. So I know parentheses has to be done first. And here it says a 7 plus 5. So I know that is 12 divided by 3. I had to do parentheses first because it is the most important first step to do when you're doing math. It might be addition in it, it might be subtraction, it could be multiplication, division, it could be a whole bunch of adding and subtracting. It doesn't matter what's inside it. Whatever's inside it gets done first because parentheses is number 1 in like the pecking order here. So 7 plus 5 is 12. Now you have divided by 3. Well, there's nothing else left to do. You can drop the parentheses once you do the parentheses. You do not need to write it again. You can, but you don't have to. Once parentheses is done, you can drop it. Now it's just 12 divided by 3, which is 4. Now, if you decided not to do it in this order, you would get a very different answer. So you have to go by the order. Now today, your page looks like this. I am going to be giving you the answers to half of this page. And it tells you right here what to do. So you are going to be doing the odd today, and today I'm giving you all the answers to the even. So they want you to write correct if it's correct, the order you would do, or write not correct if it's not correct. So you could just write yes or no for it does, or N for not correct, C for correct. That's fine too. So you'll do number one. Number two, it says the first thing you're to do is multiply. Well, please excuse my dear Aunt, I don't know why I did that, Aunt Sally. So parentheses goes first. So the first thing I'm going to do is multiply. Yes, and then I will divide. So this is correct. You'll do this one. The second thing over here, it says the first thing you're going to do is add. So I'm looking, parentheses comes first. So the first thing I'm going to do is subtract. So this is not correct. I would subtract, and then I would get 2. And then you can drop these parentheses. You can actually cross it off. So this becomes 9 plus 2 times 2. And at this point, then you would multiply, and that would become 9 plus 4. The answer would be 13. If you did it in a different order, you would get a different answer. Let's say you did 9 plus 2, you would get 11 times 3 would be 33, minus 1 would be 32. You would get a completely different answer if you worked left to right. You have to do the order of importance as you do work left to right. All right, so let's go to number 6. Follow the order of operations to find the value of the expression in each step. So parentheses is my first, then I multiply and divide, and then I add and subtract. You do not need to worry about exponents yet. There are no exponents in this paper. So parentheses, then multiply and divide, then add and subtract, working left to right. So for parentheses, so this has to be done first. The first thing I'm going to do is 12 divided by 4, which is 3, and I'm going to rewrite the problem. All good mathematicians rewrite the problem as they go. They don't try to hold it all in their head. You're going to make silly mistakes if you do that. So after you work out a section, parentheses, rewrite it. Now I just have 18 take away 3. 18, 17, 16, 15 is the answer to that. So in the box, you're just going to write 15. And I'm going to skip to number 8. Parentheses comes first, then multiply, divide, then add and subtract. So I like this problem because I see you have a division here. So parentheses is important. 12 plus 8 is 20. 20. Rewrite the problem. If you don't, silly mistakes happen. Now, I did my parentheses. Now I multiply or divide. Going in the order, you need to divide before you multiply here. When you divide, you'll get 20 divided by 2, which is 10, times 3, which is 30. You still work left to right. If there is a whole bunch of addition or subtraction, you still work the way you're supposed to, left to right. Math is always that way. But you need to make sure you do the order of importance first. So going from this way, I divide, and then I multiply. If I didn't, and I decided to do 2 times 3 is 6, I would have 20 divided by 6, which would give me a decimal or a fraction. So it is important that you do work left to right. Keep it in mind. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. All right, the next problem, let me write this somewhere where we can see it. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. This is called an acronym. It helps us remember. Parentheses goes first. We don't need to know exponents. Multiply, divide, add, subtract. These go together, these go together. All right, so you are doing odd, I'm doing even. First thing is parentheses. 3 times 6 is 18. Now, we're done with that. Now we divide by 2, 9. 9 times 8 minus 2, parentheses first. 8 minus 2 is 6. Now we do 9 times 6. 32 plus 4 divided by 9 minus 2. 32 plus 4 would be 36 divided by 9 minus 2. Next, I have a division, I have a subtraction. Division comes first. 36 divided by 9 is 4, and then I just have to minus 2. The answer is 2. And last, 36 minus 4 plus 8 divided by 4. 36 minus 4 goes first because it's parentheses. That would be 32 plus 8 divided by 4. The next important thing, I would be 8 divided by 4, which is 2. Then I would have 32 plus 2, because that equals 2. I leave the symbols the same, except I take out what I worked on. 32 plus 2 is 34. There's my answer. All right, my friends, so you are doing odd on this page. And let me see number 17. Let's do this one together also. Mr. Randall bought 4 shirts, which were on sale. The shirts were originally $20. The sales price of the shirt was $5 less. Okay, so he's going to buy 4 shirts times, they were $20, but now they're $5 less. So here is your equation. He's going to buy 4 shirts that cost this much. They were $20, but now each shirt is $5 less. So you have to work this out, the parentheses, before you do the multiplication. Write and find the value of the expression for the total amount. So you're going to have a dollar sign here, and you're going to work this out. The secret words of the day is I am going to check your even answers. So the even answers are actually going to be the words. So we have correct, not correct, 15, 30, 9, 54, 2, 34, and that is it. So don't worry about writing the secret words. I'm going to be checking your even answers to see if you watched the video since I gave you those. All right, my friends, so all you have to do is work out the odd and copy in the even. I'll go ahead and make the screen for you so you can see the whole thing. There you go. Goodbye, my friends. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And that leaves you 9 problems.